Welcome to the Nerd News Podcast, starring Tyson Cox and Tyler Waltz, featuring me.
It's Brian Petri. Say your name, Brian.
Oh, hey, what up, y'all? It's me, Brian Petri.
Yeah. Otherwise known as the voice of the intro to Nerd News.
I am the voice of Nerd News.
I think that's us, Brian.
Yeah,
You're the voice of the intro. You get
That's
a very
true.
narrow window.
Yeah.
That's true. I'm the Ed McMahon of Nerd News.
But yeah, no, this is our first episode with a guest, so
Yeah.
thank you for being the first guest.
Sweet. Oh, that I didn't know. I didn't even realize y'all don't do guests. I'm the
No.
first guest.
First
Absolutely.
guest. You're a special
Man,
treat.
I'm a
Special treat.
I'm a snack.
I mean, I'd say that. But I want to give a shout out to Defense Mechanism. That was Beet Juice by Defense Mechanism as our theme. Check him out. We got Brian Petri here. We got Tyler Waltz. I'm Tyson Cox. What up, you nerds? How we doing this week? Thanks for all the comments and replies. I hope you had a good Gen Con.
Well, this will be coming out
After
Gen
Gen Con.
After Gen Con the 10th. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I did calendar work, Tyler.
That's I can't read.
I
That's
got
fine.
so sweaty planning. I was like, I have to think. This is horror shit.
I'm so used to just skimming by in the skin of my teeth.
Really am. But hey,
yeah.
Brian, we said we got some topics we talked to you about earlier. I'm excited to
Yeah.
learn more about you. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Oh, I just been nerding. Nerd news nerding.
How long have you been a nerd? What was your first clock-in day as nerd?
When I realized I was a nerd, I think it had to be, oh, God. It was young. It's probably like second or third grade. Probably like third grade. We had an assignment in school, and I went way too hard on it.
Okay.
And that's when I looked back and I went, oh, yeah, I'm a nerd. All right, okay.
Nice. It's funny that everybody kind of has like a different way of figuring out that they really like nerdy shit.
Yeah.
Like, I remember being in high school, and he was like, well, I'm not a nerd. I just play video games.
Yeah.
Right? And then the video games went from more of like Call of Duty stuff to like Fable.
Yeah.
And, like, those kinds of games. And then you go like, a friend of mine took me to a comic book shop, and I was like, oh, there's comic books of like really cool things. And then it's like this slow, just like, it's like, it's weed. It's a gateway drug.
Yeah, it really
Right.
is.
Yeah,
Yeah, EA Sports made some good gateway drugs for a lot of
Yeah.
people who
they
still
did.
don't know they're
Yeah,
nerds.
for sure.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? Like, oh yeah, I've played every Madden and I know every player
since '95.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild.
But they're not nerds. No. No, I think I got stuck. We got assigned with making a coat of arms for our families.
That's pretty cool, though.
And you got to go do research and figure out why. And I made this dope coat of arms, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, I went too deep.
That sounds dope.
Do you remember what it was?
It was. Yeah, I do actually. It was one of those things where I at an impressionable age got to learn a lot about my family.
Okay,
And,
all right.
I did it in honor of my great grandmother.
Okay.
Because she was the person I knew as a little kid that was the oldest person I'd ever met in my life.
Okay.
But she took care of. She was like 96, and I was just this like 5-year-old, 6-year-old kid. But I did it off her last name because everybody represented that family as our patriarch, matriarch. That's where we all came from.
Okay.
And so I built it out of that. And yeah, it was very interesting learning about how they came over from France and how a lot of them were partially straight from France. The rest of them were from Nova Scotia. And learning all that like young, you're like, oh, cool. But I made a lion. The lion was regal for my name. Brian is noble.
Okay.
And then Kevin is king. So a lion represented noble.
That feels like a guy named Brian and a guy named Kevin got together.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? And he just had a lion.
And they were just like, no, they were like, I don't know, these names sound lame.
It's so Abercrombie and Finch. It's like,
Brian. What does Brian mean? It means noble.
yeah, it means noble.
That's a way cooler reason to be a nerd than me. Like when I was in elementary school, I loved the Legend of Zelda games.
Yeah.
So for costume day for like Halloween, I went as Link.
Yeah.
But I wasn't satisfied with just being Link. I actually wrote like I was Link in a new game.
Yeah, you did.
Right? I was like,
created a
I
new
don't want to
world.
be a Link that's already had an adventure. This is the adventure that I went on.
Of
as
Tyler Link.
Yeah,
Did
right.
you fight it for a while, or did you say screw it? I'm going all the way in.
Oh, I went all the way in. I went all the way in. Yeah.
No looking back.
It didn't help that I won the costume contest.
Yeah,
that
you
year.
did.
Oh,
It's just,
no.
Yeah,
it's
you
been
did.
inflated egos and
Did you have ears?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, of course I did.
Yeah, you had ears.
Yep.
I just bought.
It
some
all went
ears.
downhill from there, really. It was just
Not good.
You peak in like kindergarten and it's
Yeah,
over.
yeah. It's crazy that Link had no exercise after.
None.
No,
None.
none at all.
No, I just bought some ears actually. Yeah, I did
Black
it. To,
market?
Sex reason?
yeah, a few reasons. Well, mainly out of spite.
What?
He had an enemy.
Yeah.
He had.
I was mad because I feel like there's not enough black people in Middle Earth, and I was like, there's no like black elf ears online for cosplay.
I thought someone did a big
Someone
thing. Like,
finally
yeah,
did it.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and I bought them. I was like, oh, this is dope. And like,
I like to think they're like, I don't even need them. They just want
no, I didn't. I didn't need them for shit.
You didn't even open the box, just right into the trash can.
Just silicone elves in a box on my on my dresser.
Like I actually get a monthly subscription of
Yeah,
these. It's
I get these ears
When
monthly.
you said out of spite, my brain went to like, oh, the opposite of like Van Gogh. Like you got real pissed off at somebody. He's like, fuck
Put
you.
extra ears on instead of cutting one off. Put some on.
Yeah.
just like a Warhammer orc. Just be like, I
Yes.
don't know, it's my ears. I
It's
can hear
my
out of it
ears.
now because I believe so.
They're mine.
Oh man. Cool. Well, that was
Yeah.
a good introduction. I
It
feel like,
was.
I feel like we
Yeah.
really got to
That's
know you.
me.
You got a
That's
family
me.
crest. That's always exciting.
Yeah.
Mine would have just been like a dragon.
Yeah.
Dragon grabbing some boobs. If I
Well,
was,
have you ever done
Everyone loves some nice
titty dragon?
scaly titties. Yes.
Good old titty dragon.
Not
No,
the
it's the
D&D
dragon is
subreddit.
grabbing boobs. It's
Yeah.
not.
Right.
there was a huge like week-long argument back and forth on the D&D subreddit of
Yeah.
like the snake people would have boobs or not.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
people
right.
were like, scientifically no, but
No.
then nerds were like, but boobs.
But titties.
But according to my wiener,
Yeah.
yes.
we
according
need boobs.
according to the drawings I've commissioned, they definitely do.
According to DeviantArt, everything has boobs.
Hell yeah.
Have you guys ever played the game XCOM?
No.
A little bit years ago.
Okay, it's a strategy game, XCOM 2. It's like War of the Chosen.
Okay.
I love that game, and it's fun to see different people's angles on it. So I joined the subreddit, like,
Yeah.
you know, as you do. And it's weird because you'll be like, "Hey, I tried out this unit combination, and it really did great on the hardest difficulty."
Yeah.
And then just below that is like, "This is me having sex with the Snake Viper Queen." It's like, all right. it's like I figured that would be a different subreddit, but they've
No.
somehow harmonized where people are just okay with it.
So I've said this before, and I want to get on it. I've said it before. I'll say it again. Like being a nerd's hard because you want your thing to become popular enough. Like you don't want it to become so popular that like Netflix gets a hold of it and ruins it.
Right.
But you do want it popular enough that you keep getting new porn of it.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
the-
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
how
and you'll-
exactly.
You'll never say you like it,
No,
but you always appreciate
You
it.
watch it.
you got that. You got that burner
Right.
account.
Watch
Yeah,
it.
for sure.
Like I'm here for community.
Yeah. I'm just here for the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right. Right. Oh man, that's great. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
we
I know-
cover etymology, coats of arms, dragon boobs.
Hell yeah.
We're
I think
on
we can
point.
wrap it up.
Yeah, we're
I
good.
think
I
We
think we covered it all.
Best episode yet.
Record episode, 8 minutes.
It's like a Tyson fight.
Not me. That fights are immediately over.
Exactly. It's 8 seconds.
Like when they
It's the other way.
when you touch gloves, I go, ow.
Stop.
Stop it.
Like the goats that faint.
Oh yeah. That's why I like possums.
It's like wearing his corset was too tight.
Was that a Pirates of the Caribbean? A little Pirates of the Caribbean reference?
I stopped watching those after like the second one.
Everyone did. I think.
Wasn't which was the one that had the octopus guy? That was the third
Davy
one, right?
Jones, yeah.
David Jones.
I thought
the locker.
everyone loved that one, and then it kind of got weird.
I think they all got a little weird. I think anything Johnny Depp is in gets a little weird at the
Yeah.
end.
I think they're rebooting it again too.
They are.
Without him, yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's back.
Oh, he
He's
is?
he won the case and all that. He's
Okay.
back. Yeah.
That's probably for the best.
Yeah. She's out of Aquaman though.
Yeah.
Someone, and I want this to happen so bad. People are petitioning to have Bruce Campbell take her role.
God, dude.
Oh, that would be excellent.
It would.
I saw that, and then what's her? Amelia Clark was another one that everybody thought would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would
Khaleesi.
rather have Bruce. I love Bruce Campbell, so
Yeah.
anytime he pops up in something, I just get like so excited.
Oh, of course.
Like I want to be like the Indianapolis Bruce Campbell. I just show up and like mean to people's face, and they go, "I love this guy. Look at his suit.
I'd
Look how
love
good he
to
is."
see Amelia
His
Clark
cameos
too,
are
though. They
amazing.
give her a water dragon, and like she's still the queen of dragon. That'd be fun.
Right, just
That'd
like a
be good
weird
for
crossover.
porn. That'd be good for porn.
Yeah, that's what we call a callback. Oh man.
And so, Brian, I know you're modern nerd.
Yeah.
Your recent nerd stuff. You're a big Magic guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I got back into it again unhealthily.
Cool. Which I need to be educated on a little bit because I have never played Magic.
Man, it's fun. You get that ass tap, boy. What? Get
What?
Tap.
You tap the mana. You tap it.
Okay.
You tippity tap tap.
Tap.
Nice.
Tap. Tap.
So I've played all the way up to competitive badly. I did it I did like a couple of tournaments. No, I did like for like a year, and it was some of the worst nerd experiences of my life.
Mm-hmm.
Do you play competitive at all?
I try not to.
Good.
I try to keep it friendly.
So what-
because it gets weird.
So what Tyler might not know this, when you do competitive Magic,
We just had a guest appearance by the nose of a dog.
Oh.
it's a whole dog down here.
Hello.
Competitive Magic is you can. I like Magic because you can be like, oh, there's a ton of options. I make a bunch of decks, and then I was playing Standard, which means you have from the last two sets or whatever. And I showed up, and like it was the same deck 7 times, and I just got like the only time I won a match is because the guy drew his cards, mulligan, drew him again, and went, "You win,"
Yeah.
because he didn't get like the one fetch card he needed or
Yeah.
something. I'm like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Wild. So like I love competitive games like that, but once a meta is established, no matter what game it is, it's really hard to stay in it.
I compare it to I got really into Soul Calibur and playing
Soul
that
Calibur was great.
playing that on a competitive level, and it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's I actually won a game similarly just based on character select.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's so irritating.
I was like, we're not even gonna play. Nah, dude, you're good.
I mean, I'll take it. I'll take the win.
I'll take the win.
I'm
but,
sad like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, all right, cool.
I don't think I've ever played a fighting game competitively. The closest I got was the first Injustice.
Yeah.
I played the first Injustice as Deathstroke so much that I was actually like ranking in the leaderboards.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I hit that like bottom tier leaderboards, it was like, oh, I don't even stand
No.
a chance. It was I was just beating up children.
All right, what game is this? I'm in. I'm in.
Once I had to fight another probably adult human, I got my
Nope.
ass
You
beat.
you played a 14-year-old and
Yeah.
got
That's
destroyed.
exactly what happens.
Yeah.
Online, that's exactly what happens.
It's wild. It's insane.
I don't know. I don't want to badmouth Magic from a perspective of like the competitive side, because anything I think when it gets competitive, especially with nerds,
Yeah.
that's our battleground.
Oh,
that's
100%.
that's where we get to like stand over somebody after a power hit.
Yeah. But
I
it's,
totally get it.
that's
Yeah.
that's
Extra-
just and like I think that's where it gets nitty. But there is also fun. Like I played football for almost 12, 15 years, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing because you can go play for fun, just
Yeah.
you and your friends in the park and have a really good time. But then you can also go play for the national championship or like your local district champion or whatever you're doing and be way too into it.
yeah, like
Sorry, go ahead.
I'd say with the competitive Magic, it's such a low end. Like you win, you get like 3 packs of cards, right, for Friday Night Magic.
Yeah,
And
I
these-
think there's levels of how much you can get back. Yeah.
Well, so like I'm talking like that's where I was. Not even
Yeah.
like national
Yeah.
national tournaments. I get being sweaty as possible.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like you're playing for 3 packs.
Yeah.
You don't even the 3 packs. You don't even really want the cards.
Yeah.
Either. You already bought everything. You bought all the
already got
cards you
all the
need.
cards. Yeah. Yeah. You've got it figured out. And
Yeah.
then it's still just playing for bragging rights and playing for
Yeah.
the. Because I think Magic is unique in I got into it when I was in like 4th grade. And I think what I fell in love with was the idea that you are legitimately a spellcaster with your own magic. You have enough stuff to create your own idea of how you think you can be the best at what you do.
Yeah, the best planeswalker.
The best planeswalker, and I think that a lot of people forget that was what the game was designed for. It wasn't necessarily to drop $5,000 on a deck and try to go win $2 million in a competition somewhere. Yeah.
The line for competitiveness in nerd stuff is a whole different league.
Yeah.
Right? Like for sports, like what we were just talking about, there's like, like you're young and then you do like high school and then you can do like college and then there's like tiers. For nerds, it's almost like casual or you're 100%
in.
Yeah, because like my competitive scene was Pokemon back in the day. I was the guy that was doing like the competitive breeding with the IVs, and it's like, oh, in order to get the stats for this Pokemon, I need to defeat 32 Geodudes, 56 Ponyta, and like 10 Charmanders to get the stat distribution I want. Like I was in.
That's wild.
It's like it's a whole different league from I'm catching little monsters and fighting in a game.
Go just brought that right back. Go brought that right back.
Did it?
Yeah, for sure. I think they're trying to bring it back with Scarlet and Violet as well.
Yeah.
Because with the Gigantamaxing and stuff and Sword and Shield, they kind of got away from it.
Yep.
So they actually kept the
I
competitive...
don't like how they named a moveset thing after my wiener. All right. Hey! Comedy podcast. Pow.
Well, they've had the move minimized since Gen 1. So, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, or substitute. That would work too.
Return.
But they haven't named what the gimmick is going to be yet. Because ever since, I think it was like Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and X and Y, they've had like the mega evolutions. And the competitive scene has been very different since then.
Yep.
Because it broke kind of everything.
Yeah.
So I think they might, I hope they're kind of going back to the roots of like, you just have your monsters. There's no gimmick. You don't have to calculate for somebody's mega evolution or
I don't see that happening, unfortunately.
I don't either, but I want it.
I watched a guy it was some of the gnarliest. I didn't know, I know Pokemon. I know Pokemon. I know Pokemon.
Nah, Pokemon is up there at the Dollar General.
Yeah.
That's the sticker where it just got misprinted.
Yeah.
I know Pokemon can be like really intense, but this guy he brought, it was like I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a level 1 Pokemon that had like they gave him an item and he had a move that like every time the dude hit it, he gets brought down like to 0, and then he does the same amount of damage to the person, so he ends up dropping the dude to 0, and then he has health gets restored 10 HP or whatever back from, and it's like you just dude murked everyone.
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, that got started when some asshole broke the game because they added items that you could hold.
Yeah.
And then it would be like boost dark type attacks or lightning, whatever. There was I believe it was called, and I'm sure if some Pokemon
they'll let us know.
I think it was called the Focus Sash or Focus Scarf or something, where if you got hit, you were guaranteed, if you were at full health, to survive with 1 HP.
Yeah.
So the guy took a level 1 Rattata.
Yeah.
And it was based on the percentage because he would use like revenge.
Yeah.
So it took him down by 99% health, but he survived with 1. So it brought the other guy down to 99%, and then he would just use quick attack to get that one last HP out. Because you're guaranteed to do 1 HP.
1 HP.
So and then he had he just used like a potion to bring him back up, and it was wild.
That's so good.
Yeah. No, it's wild when you sit down and you're like, oh, this works with this, therefore game is broken. Like you can't fix that. Because once it's out, it's out.
I think it's funny how we were just comparing like regular like physical sports to like nerd sports. And
they're kind of getting like, obviously, other than the physical aspect, there's like what are they called?
Esports?
Esports, but
tournaments.
Yeah,
like League of
they're
Legends
not
doing
athletes, like the people that compete.
Yeah, some of them are. They're elites.
Esport athletes. They have like huge dexterity and reaction time, stuff like that.
Yeah,
they're
sure.
very specific. Just like
I wasn't saying that.
They even
like,
have like team drafts and stuff like
Nice.
that. Yeah.
Nope.
Dogs barking. Jacob must be leaving his room. But I wasn't saying it like, oh, they're not athletes.
You were.
I just thought they had their
You're canceled.
name for it.
Brian, you're now Tyler.
Yeah.
Tyler, I live in your house now.
You got to gain some weight, bro. Like,
gotta get on it.
But yeah, like they're getting huge sponsorships and like hundreds of thousands of dollar like prize pools for like League of Legends and shit like that. It's wild.
I love doing.
Thick. No, I'm saying I agree with him. It's getting thick. It's they are legitimately. A lot of them are sponsored by major corporations. That one dude has his own energy drink now, the G Fuel. Yeah, like there's
I thought that was just a YouTuber thing.
Bro, there's so many gamers that are getting involved and getting themselves Yeah.
Oh, sorry. The first time I noticed that it was really picking up was I was really into Gears of War back in the day. And starting with Gears 4, they had like skin packs for guns.
Yeah.
And it was actually like, if you buy this $5 skin pack, it's the skins that were made exclusively for this competitive Gears team. And like $1 of it goes to their like thing. So you can buy a skin pack to support your favorite esports team. And I was like, that's pretty interesting. I mean, if there's going to be anything that I would probably buy into if I was into it, it would be that.
League did a lot of League did a lot of stuff like that.
I think the bringing back of retro consoles and games kind of opened that world up too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like the ability to go back, and most people enjoyed those games when they were kids, but now they play it almost on a competitive level. Some of them. Yeah, I think it's pretty interesting.
My favorite thing, like when you do see like a local tournament, I love seeing that because like no matter what it is, there's always going to be like some 14-year-old kid that's super good at it, and some 65-year-old man who's also super good at it.
Yeah.
So you look at it and you go, that old man's going to beat that child. Oh no!
And the child wins, and you find out that the old man has anger issues.
Yeah.
Real severe anger issues.
Very quickly.
Yeah, he's been letting it out in video games for years.
Now he's about to let it out on a child. Oh gosh, have you guys watched?
You're not even mine. Ah.
If you were I wish you were my son so I could hit you.
There is an entire compilation series on YouTube for just Super Smash Brothers freakouts at competitions. It's intense.
There's one for Magic on that's table flips.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
Great.
God, I need to look that up.
It's so great just watching table flips.
Some of those tables are heavy and the nerds are weak.
The power of anger. The funny thing is that is a universal board game move.
Yeah.
There's not a single board game that you can't do that with.
Yep. Flip it over. I'm over it. This is done.
I want to loop it back because this is a pet peeve of mine in nerd games that are kind of coming out. Is that the price to buy in? Like I think the idea of Magic is amazing, but I've never got into it because I know in 3 months my shit might just be obsolete, and I've got to go all in on some new cards, and it's the constant like subscription model that kind of throws me off of it. What do you guys think?
I'll let you go first.
All right. I think of it in a couple of ways. Like, if you want to jump in and be competitive, you're going to spend $500 on a deck of cards. Yeah, you don't have to. You can also go to Walmart, buy a pretty decent deck. Or, honestly, so the reason I really like Magic, I played Magic, HeroClix, I played Warhammer. A bit of it is the initial cost sink, but then it's essentially going to a bar one night, Like, I spent $15, $20, $30, 50 if you're me, like a real drunk. And you just end up hang out with your buddies. That's what you're doing. That's your night is just hang out playing Magic. Because there's cube drafts where you each buy 3 packs.
Yeah, but most people now play Commander. Most people play EDH.
Right
you know, EDH is like it's so much. It's so much more of a simplified, uniform way for everyone to play. Yeah, and it gives you so much more playability to the game. I feel like.
So if you don't know what that is,
I don't.
That's 100 cards. You have a commander, so you have a guy that's all your colors.
Yep, Elder Dragon Highlander. There can be only one.
Okay.
The rule is the old way we used to play, and before Wizards bought it, Wizards finally adopted it and started making these pre-constructed decks that have like a commander, but it was picking a legendary creature and then building a 100-card deck around it.
Cool.
And then the 100 cards, you can only have one of each.
Okay.
So there's no duplicates, no repeats. So like traditional, you could stack a deck with all of your 4 of your favorite cards and make it really convoluted way of playing. Okay. But in Commander, you can only have one.
Right.
So it's really unique to watch how people build out these.
I feel like that should have always been a rule.
Right?
Yes and no. Decks went from 80 to 60, right? Or 60 to 40?
60 to 40, and then really the 60 was always the core. 60 was always core, and it was mostly so that you could play the game quickly and play multiple games. Like, I remember, how long did you play? When did you get into it?
Like 2002, and then off and on since then.
Right. I got into it in 94.
Okay.
And that's why his question about cost of playability really like rang with me.
It's why it's because it is what you want. Though,
When
really.
when you're in 4th grade and you're like 10 years old and you want to convince your parent to buy you $60 worth of cardboard so that you could go sit down with your friends and then in 3 weeks buy $60 worth of more cardboard. Your parents then are like, no. And unless your parents have the expendable income to give a 10-year-old $60 to go spend on cardboard, it was not really accessible.
Man,
but
I would lose whole checks when I was working at McDonald's.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I would just cash my check, go to the game shop, buy a fucking the box, the box of packs.
Yeah. Set pack boosters and all that.
Yeah, the booster box, booster box. Yeah.
On booster boxes. I found it when I got older, though. That was because that's what they played on. I mean, you got to make money. Your company has to have like a win con. You know, it has to have an ability to capitalize.
And that's the thing that keeps a lot of game shops in business is Magic Night.
Yeah, it really is. But it's the lucrative aspect of playing. Like a lot of people now, if you don't play competitive and you just want to go have fun on Friday Night Magic, you can spend $100, right?
Yeah.
Buy one box of cards, and out of all the cards you got out of that one box, you could probably build 2 very good decks that you can play with, or at least one really nice one that you can go sit down and have fun on Friday, like you said, like you're at a bar and hang out with your friends. And if you end up spending an extra $20 while you're there and your deck gets better for the next time you go, that's the whole purpose of playing. But but like you said, there's a thin line in the nerd world between having fun and tipping the scale. The more and more you sit in that card shop, the more and more money you want to spend because you want to get better and be able to compete amongst the people around you.
Yeah, you don't want to lose that alpha nerd Jack again.
Correct. Exactly.
That was that dude's name that was like, so I sat down, never played before, came with like 80 cards in my deck, and he's like, how many cards are in there? And I was like, I don't know, like 80? And he went, okay.
Yeah.
And then he drew his cards, looked at it, called one of his friends over, showed him, and then looked at me and goes, you might as well just give up now.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
There's that guy. That guy is in every shop. But that guy is in every shop.
Yeah.
You can't get away from him.
100%.
I mean, that's...
He then beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And I went home and had sex with my girlfriend.
There you go. There you go. That's how that works. You got to beat him back, you know, by beating it up.
Yeah.
That's how
I was like, take this, Jack. And then my girlfriend at the time was like, who's Jack?
You'll figure it out. Turn around.
Well, yeah, the 2 games that I always thought looked extraordinarily fun but never got into was Magic and Warhammer. Like the Warhammer style of games with the huge maps and like looked amazing to me.
Yeah.
But that one's like, a cost sink.
Yeah, because it's like, $120 and I get 6 soldiers.
Yep.
So
I'm good. I'm all right.
Here's what's weird. Magic has started adopting these other tabletop games and finding a way to create playability inside of them. And it's driving collectors crazy because a lot of them, they don't know if it's going to work. So it's singular prints, right? So even though these cards, they get a set release, they don't have much playability and with the way most people play Magic, but they have collectability. And it's very interesting. Like they are actually about to adopt a Warhammer series.
Okay.
Are they really?
Yeah, they're gonna do Lord of the Rings too.
I knew that. I knew, and they just did D&D.
They're working on getting Game of Thrones rights, I believe.
That's wild.
I think that would be very interesting. I think it would. I mean, there's a guy on DeviantArt who's I've followed for years. He made an entire set, a 200 card set of Star Trek like cards, and they look playable. Like when you read them, you're like, I want this set. Like this is playable.
The Game of Thrones sounds cool, but it's not going to end well.
Oh god, it's gonna end terribly.
There we go.
They're gonna give up on it at the end. It's gonna be like there's gonna be like 40 cards that just are absolute trash.
It does what?
What? There's nothing on here. It says you lose the game.
So as an avid Magic nerd who's been there since '94, how do you feel about all these like crossover sets and whatnot? Because it doesn't feel like Magic anymore. You know what I mean? It's starting to feel like just like any popular nerd thing gets to have a set.
I think they felt that way when they started changing the sets internally. I think when they started adding like the full art cards and the way the cards looked and stuff like they started changing them a little bit, I think that affected the playability from the beginning, especially if you're a new player. Because I took a break.
Sorry. Did
No.
they also just go through like a huge purge of old cards too? Like these
They
are
did.
no longer just,
In
they're
print.
gone. They're
Yeah,
gone.
a lot of them they just stopped printing, and that's what drives the collectability up again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was a not printing thing.
Yeah.
From my understanding, it was like you're no longer allowed to use these.
Oh, they
In
do that
tournaments,
too.
yeah.
They do that too. They have a list for tourney, but most of them, it depends on what you're playing. If you're playing EDH and you're playing for fun, there's a list of what's called a banned list, and it's just because of the playability and what it does.
Yeah.
It just makes it too broken.
Yeah,
Okay.
too broken. And then some,
sense.
and then Magic also does a fun thing where they try to remind you, like, hey, we're a board game. We like having fun. It's just about fun. Where they'll introduce these, like when you open a pack, they'll have a card in there that's a mini game that you can play with your cards, but it's not traditional or EDH.
Oh, okay.
They have these little mini games. And then on top of that, they also release cards that are like stupid. They call them silver borders, and they're just dumb. Like they're like, okay, there's one card I have called Fat Ass.
Okay.
Yeah, and he gets +2/+2
actually
as long
modeled
as
for that.
yeah. I see. I knew you from somewhere. Yeah. No, it's just a giant donkey, and he's like eating pizza. And see, and then
He brought his own pizza that day too.
Yeah,
exactly.
So
They were
got
like,
the-
oh, he's perfect.
Yeah.
No, but you get attributes as long as you're eating,
Okay.
and that's not very playable.
No. I
but
mean,
but it's fun.
it is.
It is,
Well,
but it's fun.
Yeah.
But there's stuff like that,
Oh,
where
you
I
know
think
you're
they
fucked
try
when
to
somebody
remind
walks
you.
in with a bag of Doritos. You're like, oh,
Oh,
Fuck.
no.
fuck.
This dude, he's about to kill everyone. He's going infinite.
Yeah.
No, I think that they try to remind you that it's just a game,
Yeah.
and that we as nerds try to turn it in everything that we do into. That's how we got to the moon.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a game against Russia, and
Yeah.
we won.
Hell yeah. We did.
That's true. Yeah.
Did we?
Did we?
NASA's buying all that helium. That was fun. I was talking to he's a friend, but he's got some wild ideas.
It's great. I love it.
He was like, oh, yeah, and NASA's the biggest purchaser of helium in the world. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, why? Like, what are they gonna do? Do you use big balloons to pull up the satellites? And he goes, yes. I was like, what?
It's exactly what they do. Have you seen that guy jump out do the ionosphere jump or the stratosphere jump?
Yeah, for
Yeah,
Red
yeah,
Bull.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, but he thinks that the Earth. Oh, sorry. He also thinks the Earth is flat.
Oh, okay.
So, like,
that's
he
cool. Where are you
legit-
gonna go?
He legitimately is like, well, that way you look up and it's up there.
Oh, okay.
It's a good time.
I mean, where would you go if the Earth was? Never mind. That's a whole nother podcast.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother.
That's a whole other thing. Well, yeah, we'll have you back for a big conspiracy.
No, I like.
Ooh.
That'd be
Yeah.
fun.
We're gonna have a 6-hour episode.
Yeah,
for
we
me?
are.
Is that what's gonna
Yeah,
happen?
we are.
I like. Okay, I like that you mentioned the crossovers. How do I feel about them? I enjoy the idea of the D&D crossover.
Yeah.
I think they've been in the same. It's like when what was it, Scream Queens, when freaking American Horror Story and Glee, they've been on the set. That's why they created the show. It's
I
because
didn't
they
even know
shared a
that.
wall in the studio.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so when they were in the writer's room, they shared a wall. So eventually one day they poked their heads out and were like, let's do a show together. And that's how I feel
great.
like D&D
Yeah.
and Magic did. They were like, they'd been in the same room this whole time, and they finally were like, let's do this.
Yeah, and that makes sense though because like they're both. Which dogs?
Could you hear it on the microphone?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
For the guy that has to edit it.
Yeah.
No, I'd say D&D feels like it's very similar realms of it, but like then Warhammer gets a bit bigger step. Like it almost feels really weird that they do like they're having Magic, Warhammer, or I'm sorry, Magic, D&D, Game of Thrones. Those are all three very very similar genres.
Yeah.
But then you get Warhammer, which is big and out there
Yeah.
with space travel and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Was it Warhammer Fantasy or Warhammer 40K?
I don't know for sure yet.
If it's
Difference?
there is Fantasy has Skaven, which is I'm interested in. It's the rat people.
Yeah.
Like I love that army, like really low cost, a lot of minis.
That could make sense. They'd probably have
Fantasy,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, then again, they might go space because there are the space options. I mean, Magic is all about crossing these different ethereal planes.
Oh, okay, yeah, that does make
you know,
sense.
so
now.
you would
Ah,
go
right.
into another
Ah, right.
plane. Yeah.
Do you know there's a Godzilla set?
Ooh, for Warhammer?
Magic.
Magic.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Art cards.
There's a bunch of cool sets that have come out that I quit playing for a little while, like for a good while, probably about 10 years.
Yeah.
And then when I came back into the game, I was like, oh God, there's been so many things that have happened. And then you got to go back and find them all, and a lot of them aren't in print anymore, and they got real expensive. Yeah.
So I'm very into D&D, right?
Right.
So from what I understand of the whole Magic and D&D kind of crossover thing, I think what people are worried about is that it's going to be more of a takeover instead of a crossover. Because with the rising popularity of D&D, they were like, oh, is it going to be a situation where one's going to get slowly phased into the other rather than them each being their own independent thing with cross references?
I don't think so. I don't think Magic players would allow that to happen.
I don't think D&D players would allow that to happen.
I don't think. I think that they're just trying to find.
You think it'd be like a merge of merge the games?
Yeah, a lot of people were talking about it, which just seems absurd to me. Like from a business perspective, that's idiotic.
The playability of the two different. They're just two different playabilities. It's just I don't see that. I don't see them giving up on the ability to make money off of two industries either.
Yeah. Well, the base argument, the one sentence argument for both sides was D&D was like, oh great, I'm gonna have to buy 100 cards to enjoy my book, or I'm gonna have to buy a bunch of cards to supplement my D&D
I don't
game.
see that happening.
I mean, you can already do that. I bought
but it's
seven or eight, it's not necessarily packs of like the druid spell pack, cleric spell pack. I bought all those just so it's easier and more fun for the players to be like, oh, I have the spell right here, flip.
For sure. And then the Magic people were complaining that they were going to essentially do kind of like how they went from 3, kind of messed up 4 a little bit, and then went to 5 for D&D.
Yeah.
They were like, oh great, are they going to make this game just a milquetoast like deck builder game where everybody's going to be able to play and there's no competition in it now?
No.
Water it down like they did
once
with D&D?
Once you play it, if you've played both, you can clearly see that they can't.
Yeah.
It's not going to work to merge them.
No.
But I can definitely see how it was introduced so that you could show traditional D&D players like, hey, here's a reason for you to come play Magic now. And then Magic, I saw something cool at the card shop the other night that I thought was really neat. They were getting ready to start a new campaign, right? And this guy was working on his character, and he walked out and he dug through all the legendary cards and he pulled one out and looked at it and went, this is dope. And then he went back in the room and he created a character based off the creature card that he found.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was like, that's pretty dope. And then he gave it the abilities that were on the card and the best way that he could translate it into D&D. That's pretty cool, I think. I think that's where it's supposed to happen.
That's exactly like you can grab cards, make NPCs.
Yeah,
make
dude went found a
monsters.
spell.
Yeah.
He went found an instant and sorcery card and was like, this is now my spell, my cantrip. This is what I'm writing out.
Seems like the rule of cool
Yeah.
right there.
Stuff like that is one of my favorite things to do in D&D for like one-shots.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite characters ever was as close as I could get recreation of Trevor Belmont from Castlevania, like the series. Like I'll watch tons of series and be like, can I get that to
Can I
work?
turn that into, yeah, that's fun. I like that. I think that's what the crossover was meant for. And maybe these future crossovers that they do, these future sets that they bring out, if they do Warhammer and it brings out a whole new type of gameplay for Magic, then awesome.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm not gonna lie, it would be cool as hell to shoot a dragon with a las gun.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
Exactly.
Just hit it with a bolt thrower.
Exactly. And it's all about just, I think Magic is brilliant in the way that they can adapt to things and make it playable for Magic.
Yeah.
Like I thought the D&D stuff was going to be broken because a lot of the way I was reading the cards is they have to be played with the D&D, But it doesn't. It was really cool because like now there's some that I've thrown into some of my commander decks. Like this is beautiful. This works perfect for what I'm trying to do.
Nice.
Roll a D20 to make it happen.
Yeah. And it's like it's however clever you can be with Magic.
Yeah.
Like I made this white. It was a white deck that they had. I read it was a vehicle where it was like a giant plow.
Yeah.
And then I read giant ox, and I was like, okay.
Yeah.
And then they had on turn 3 I can hit you for like 25 damage or something like that. And then no one expects it because it's like, oh, it's a vehicle, it's a defender. Yeah. And I do it, play it, and I have a thing that adds 2 double strike. You're like, oh,
that's the whole point, dude.
You're an asshole.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I am.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah.
Easily stoppable asshole.
I wish I understood it. I was like, yeah.
Well, it's kind of like Pokemon. It's turn by turn based, right? You get your turn, right? And in his turn, he's doing stuff that would actually equate to if you did it in 4 or 5 turns.
Yeah. The only card game I ever played like that was like first generation Yu-Gi-Oh. Like when the show came out and every motherfucker played Yu-Gi-Oh. I was the annoying kid that was like, no, we're gonna follow the rules. We're gonna play this game. the way it was intended.
Yeah,
Because I don't give a shit that you like that.
All my stuff was all mine was in the rules.
Yeah.
It's all within the rules.
It's all legal.
You can do crazy like
Oh, for sure.
Dude, I played somebody the other night, and he took 4 turns. By the time he was on his 4th turn, I was like, hey, look, we're just going to go ahead and pick up our cards and start over.
Yeah.
Like, let's just,
hate
it's just not going to keep, we're not going to keep doing
Well,
this.
I was talking more when, because I'm
Playing
talking
with
like
your food
elementary
now.
school.
Yeah.
Where it was like, well, he beat him in the TV show. It's like, well, the TV show's bullshit. It's like when Pikachu beat Onyx by setting off the sprinklers in Pokemon. Fuck you, Ash. You cheater.
Yeah, that's is that legal?
No, it would not be. I don't think so. I think that's a technicality.
Also, Onyx was like, I'm slippery. No.
Yeah, because for some odd reason, water on a rock would make the rock
Well, the match did last 7 million years, so he wore away.
You're right.
Slowly tormented as he disappeared.
Oh, man.
Well, we talked a lot about Magic the Gathering.
We did. I mean, Magic and Dungeons and Dragons.
We
That's
did.
true.
We covered some nerd stuff.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, I know you like your Sims 5. You said you got a little.
Yeah,
it's
there's
all
like
spoily.
there was a guy who put out like a spoiler video that I'm just interested in. I don't know if there's people out there who are super into Sims,
Yeah.
but
sure.
you know, I'm a simmer and I'm
Is
interested.
that what they're called? I'm a
yeah,
simmer.
I'm a simmer, but the crazy weird
Do
thing
you know what
about-
I am? I'm a.
You're
I'm a
Steen.
simmer.
What was the leak? Because I know the biggest complaint about The Sims is like, oh, I'm going to buy a base game for $60 and $230 worth of like downloadable like couches and shirts. And
Well,
stuff like that,
The leak
which is
was your
fine.
wallet.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I don't think that'll ever leave
not
Sims
since EA
World.
got it.
No,
No.
and I still even back when Maxis had it, it was still bundle packs that you had to buy, and that was. I mean, you can't buy an app now or download an app now without in-app purchases. I think that's games have to make money, and I understand it's a business, but. I'm more interested in, am I getting playability for the money I'm spending?
For sure.
Am I actually enjoying this? And Sims has always been fun because there's no end.
Right.
You can accomplish little. It's all side missions. There's no core goal to the game, and I think that's what's always been fun. It's just endless playability. It's up to you and how far you want to go.
I played the shit out of The Sims 2 and 3, and I never touched 4.
4 was disgusting in the first year or two that it came out, and then I think Maxis got back involved and cleaned it up a bit, and it's fun.
Good.
It's fun.
Well, they
the
did
new
that
packs,
with SimCity too, didn't they?
They
just
did.
Absolutely destroyed at launch.
Well, I mean, it's like I think you have to create a game that's both playable and still have all of the old stuff that you loved from when it wasn't as playable.
For sure.
Yeah. Like Sims 3, the map was so large that a lot of people, the game would crash constantly. Yeah, because you had open world play.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have a giant system set up to run the Sims,
Couldn't do it.
you couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. So EA simplified that. Yeah. And I don't know. The Sims 5 leak that I'm interested in is that there actually will be one. That's what everybody I think is that the thing is that there's actually going to be one, and that's the question is there, are they going to drop another one? Because every time we think there's a new, I think 4 dropped in 2016,
Okay.
and it's been out that long.
So
And
like
it's-
Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
They're just milking it.
it's just
Yeah.
new expansion packs, new stuff packs, new this, and it's like, and I think the problem is because in order to do a Sims 5, it's gonna have to be so much more grand than what anybody's.
Before.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at now. You're gonna just be walking. If you have games that are AR capable now, you can't just make another flat top Sims game. You have to get real crazy.
Oh, this was an interesting thing that somebody was talking about. I can't remember who. I think it was maybe Nathan at work. We were talking about how the issue with DLC now, there's an extra layer that nobody talks about where you buy this game like The Sims or something that you add on content where it's like, oh cool, I bought these shirts that I like or these costumes, whatever it is, and then the new game comes out and then you're right back at square one. Like you are right back into another big commitment with this DLC because they're not going to let you carry over your favorite whatever it is,
Right.
So that was an interesting thing that I'd never thought of too, because everybody thinks of DLC as like, is it worth buying? But if you buy something cool that you love, it's not going to carry over.
I think the thing with 4 is that it didn't carry over anything from 3. You did have to start over, but also 3 was out for a really long time.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I remember when 4 came out, there were people that were like, oh, there's literally the exact same pack that they released in 3.
Yeah,
I
it is.
own it for 3.
Yeah.
Now I have to
buy
buy the
it for
exact
4.
same stuff for 4.
That's
And
scummy.
people
Well, they've done
very
it 3.
upset.
They've done it 4 times now. They did it with Sims 1, Sims 2, Sims 3. So I mean, the
Yeah.
the
Oh,
community
man.
is used to it. It's the new people who are getting into it.
Yeah.
It
I
does,
mean-
it does make sense they have to make it compatible with the new technology, so
Yeah.
it should cost something, I guess.
Well, the way the just the amount of coding that it would take to bring something that you created in an old game into the new game.
From my understanding, the coding doesn't really change much unless they change engines entirely. Which normally only
Going from
happens.
Max's base to EA, I think
For
was-
sure.
that-
From
that-
2016 to now, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I think people complain where it's like the Call of Duty style game.
Yeah.
It's like I buy a game every year, and they know I want the gold skin for the gun. So it's not on a different engine. You're literally just porting the code over with a different title.
Yeah.
It's like it's always this weird limbo of just crap that kind
Yeah.
of filters in with it.
But I think that's also what we love about it as nerds is trying to. I mean, you got to go play it, buy it, and explore it to know that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's very true.
Yeah. Yeah.
How anything else you guys want to talk about?
No, I think
this
that's
was
about.
dope.
I think we'll have to have Brian to hit all the other topics we didn't get to. But Brian, what you got? You got anything coming up? There's
shows?
Oh man, there's always the dog show with my buddy Tyson Cox.
Forgot this guy. Runs the dog show.
Do the
with me.
dog show. The dog show. And then we have Smokers and Jokers, which is in Avon.
Incredible. fun
Yes,
show.
very fun show. It's at a cigar bar. So if anybody ever wants to go see comedy, smoke a cigar, drink a bourbon, if I need to sell you any further than that, then stay home. I don't know.
Being able to perform with a cigar is definitely a highlight of what I've done in comedy. I loved it.
It's so cool. Other than that, I might be having some new shows coming out. I just booked Helltown in Cincy. That's
Nice,
gonna be
nice.
really
What
fun.
day are you doing that?
September 3rd.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah. I've got White Rabbit coming up. I got a few things coming up. It's
Nice.
gonna be
So
fun.
it looks like they should just follow you on the internet.
Yeah,
Brian,
Bri-
where are they gonna where they gonna find you?
It's very complicated. I like creating very long, ridiculous Instagrams. It's
It's good for promotion.
It's
Yeah.
Brian Petri comedy. It's super. Yeah, it's me, and all you're gonna get is random pictures of me in sunglasses. That's
Hell
about
yeah.
what it is.
Nice.
Yeah, and sometimes comedy flyers. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I used to do a cooking show. I think I might bring that back.
Ooh.
Yeah, I used to do it
Voila.
on my Instagram story. I do like
Yeah.
play out what I'm gonna do, make it to an album. It was fun. That's how I got a lot. I might bring that back. I haven't
Sounds
done
like
that
it,
in a minute.
sounds
So
like it.
yeah, if I get followers, I'll start cooking for you people again. Yeah, get real nerdy on some food.
Yeah. What about you, Tyler? What do you got coming up?
Well, since this episode's coming out the 10th, there was a couple shows that I was going to say, but they'll be over by then. I believe I will be at Black Circle the 14th to host the Sunday show there.
Nice.
If I don't make it to the finals in Helium. So stay tuned for that. I'll announce it now.
So see him Sunday show.
Yep, see me at the Sunday show.
Yeah.
Got him.
But yeah, so right now just the 14th, and then I've got a couple shows that I'm trying to get together for September, but they don't have dates yet.
Nice. And then what's your contact?
Oh, Tyler Waltz Comedy.
Yeah. Hashtag nerd news.
Nerd news.
I'm headlining the Brick Room in Noblesville, Indiana, on the 12th and 13th of August.
Yeah.
I am then also I'm at Clubhouse 2050 in Indianapolis, which is a swingers club.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that's gonna be weird, fun and weird.
Pow.
Then I'm on a secret show on the 19th. I can't tell you about, but you stay tuned, and then I'll promote it and stuff. It'll be a good time.
Well, you just had your album
said it.
release too, didn't you?
I just had
Yes, you did.
I just had an album release, so check that out. Dad Water.
Yeah.
I got merch online.
Getting
I got a
dad
bunch of
water all
stuff.
over things.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you again, Brian, so much for
Thank y'all
joining
for
us this
having
week.
me. This was
Yeah,
dope.
this was a ton of fun.
Yes. This was. We got to do this again on some level.
Yeah, and
Oh,
then make
absolutely.
sure to message us at the Nerd News Channel at Gmail or comment on any of this. If you liked it, subscribe, tell a friend. We're your source for the moderately late breaking evergreen nerd news.
Nerd
yeah.
news.
And make sure to put in the comments what you guys think of the whole Dungeons and Dragons kind of crossover stuff. What you think. If you
Yeah.
like it, we'll do some more digging into it, kind of see how it plays out, and probably talk about it again in the future.
Yeah, and Vulcans and Romulans are space elves. I don't care what.
Oh, we didn't even get to that.
I don't care what nobody say, son.
Oh man, we'll talk about that next time.
All right, cool.
Have fun, everybody. We love y'all.
Peace.